All right. Here we are on WSTX. Reflections. And hey, folks, we're not in the studio today. Even though we're in the studio, I hear some people talk about the virtual studio, but we got the Fredriksted studio. We've got the waterfront. We've got the sea, the dock, the people walking by and saying good morning with a smile on their face. It's like, wow. And, of course, everybody wants to know what's going on, like it's some big government to do thing or something. No. This is just ordinary people, some of them with titles, but just ordinary people getting together. So I want to give a shout-out to all my friends on St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, the whole Caribbean, all the way down under up to the States, and, of course, in Europe. Keep those mails coming. It's interesting to hear your perspective from all these different angles, okay? So today, Reflections is in Fredriksted. We're partnering with Clean Sweep Fredriksted, and we're here across the street from Polly's on the waterfront. And I want to thank them for their hospitality in terms of assisting WSTX and us getting set up here with our tent and everything else. Okay? Well, I've got some interesting people here with me. First of all, we've got Virginia, I'm going to call you Virginia Wilder. Virginia Clairmont, okay? It's just like I got Cecily Tyson here with me, right? Meaning Cecily Lawrence here with me. But they're both kind of running shotgun here. What I really have here are some volunteers in the form of the government helping the people, helping the government, and it's a symbiotic relationship. And we have people helping the government here, the volunteer end of things, because we've been talking about Clean Sweep Fredriksted as well as other cleanup programs. And there's a lot of things going on here in Fredriksted. When you come down here, you see it looking so nice. There's people do it. There's people working together do it. Okay? And so I got some people here who are going to talk about their small part, big part, however you want to look at their part, but it's an important part. That's the thing that's crucial here. It's an important part. So with no further ado, ladies first, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning, listening audience. My name is Hanley, and I'm the Deputy Chief Operating Officer for the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority.
Welcome. All right. Well, before we jump over to our volunteer, I been giving waste management some big props, okay? I want you to know up front. I like to give kudos when government agencies are doing positive things. When you have 100 interactions and maybe only one go bad, you got to remember the 99. Okay. But I haven't even had one to say I had one bad. Waste management has just been out there. And to tell you the kind of reputation you have. The cleanup people, they go out there, they pick up the trash, they put it in a bag by the side of the road. They say, man, I just call them, and next thing I know, they come and pick it up. Yeah. Boom. Okay? So I really want to give you kudos in that regard. And if you just take a moment and just talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been doing in terms of helping this effort in Frederiksted.
What the Waste Management Authority is glad to partner with Clean Sweep Frederiksted. What we're planning to do on October 24th with Clean Sweep is to donate a number of items that they need to do the cleanup of the Frederiksted area, such as trash bags, mulch. And as you've indicated, what we will do is after the waste is collected, we will come by and we will pick it up. We have, for our staff, we have incentivized them somewhat. We've requested that if they perform the volunteer service, we will give them an hour per hour for the work that they perform in participating with the cleanup.
Fantastic.
Up to 4 hours. Up to 4 hours.
Fantastic. An incentive to be involved and take care of their home in the process.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to take you off the hook for a quick second. I'm going to jump to our super volunteer. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Frank Armstrong, but I'm not retired.
You never retired?
No.
You just recycle into the other things you got to do. I recently learned that in the sense that you're always working. It's just that you're working at things that you like to do more often than not. Not that you didn't like firefighting.
No, I love firefighting.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
To have an also smoke.
All right.
I want to just add, Frank is being very modest, but he is far from retired. He actually spends every single day, 7 days a week, cleaning up Fredriksted. That's why we call him our super volunteer.
Fantastic.
And he didn't know this, but I'm going to make this announcement now because we just happened to show up. But he's actually going to be our volunteer of the year because of all the wonderful work that he's been doing. He's a major reason why Fredriksted is looking the way it's looking.
Hey, fantastic, And we reflect back because we've come a long, long ways. We've come a long, long ways to being on the side of the road, cleaning up, and people coming by and say, why are you doing that? That ain't government work? It's not government work. We live here. Okay, not just there. We live here. And we got to take care of our place. And that is something that's catching on like wildfire, and I hope it just picks up steam. It's going on in Christiansted. It's going on in the beaches. But it started where in terms of the catalyst that set it off? Started right here in Frederiksted. I think Queen Mary Bottombelly and all of them would be proud.
The spirit of the Queens definitely.
The spirit of the Queens, most definitely,
are alive here. Yep.
All right. So just curious. How you got to meet Virginia? Yes. How did you meet Virginia?
We actually met Virginia through her activities here in Fredriksted.
Okay.
Through one of our employees, Mr. Felix. I think Mr. Wang Felix works very closely with her because he's responsible for both towns, both Christiansted and Fredriksted. We do have a couple of staff members who clean both towns. However, we've had to reduce the number of hours or the days that they would do that. Before, they would do that every day. However, because of staff shortages, we've had to reduce it to 3 times per week as opposed to 7 days per week.
Right. And I want to make it clear, before anybody complains about that, the fact of the matter is if you don't have money to pay a person to do it, you don't have the money to pay the person. Which means that you don't have money to pay the one person you have left over time to pick up the slack for the other person. It's a function of money and resources. But you know what? When we, the community, jump in like this, we help them out in terms of the short staff, and we accomplish things. We do great things when we jump in and volunteer like that. So volunteerism is something that, can't be understated in the context of what it is that we're doing and the importance to our success with everything here. All right. Well, that's good to know. But you know something? Every step of the way is starting from the grassroots and walk it up.
Yes.
And that's important because what we have going on here is that the little people, you and me on the street, calling us the little people, we're really bigger than we really know sometimes, But we get involved and we do things, and all of a sudden the role the government can play becomes greater simply because they have the power of the people behind them. Okay? Yes, sir. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved as a super volunteer. All right. Tell me a little bit of the inside history. You ain't got to get into the other parts that maybe is too much information, but tell me.
I originally just started walking. I like to do some walking, and I just realized I just walking through a lot of trash on the road every morning. I started walking with grocery bags, picking up trash, and the grocery bags would only take me a couple 100 feet before they were all filled, and I talking like 3 or 4 grocery bags. And they just keep going with more and more grocery bags, and they end up walking with bigger bags. And they just get more and more serious. But I realized, like, this place is, like, really filthy with trash on it. Like, more people throwing down and more people picking up.
Yep.
I decided to be one of those that picking up because you could talk every day about it, but unless you have action, it won't get done.
Amen.
You
got to get involved.
I want to add, though, that Frank is leaving something out, and that when he started doing what he did with his son, by the way, how old is your son?
14.
So he would take his son along with him on Emancipation Drive, and they would walk down the length of that. But one of the things that he encountered was people telling him, why is he doing that? That's the government's job.
Yep.
Why should he be doing that? Which is discouraging when you're doing that. Because it's making us, why are you doing that? So when we met, he was walking down the road and we were cleaning. And one of the things he said is, I think you said this was like you just thought it was just you that felt this way about the trash. And it was really good to see that other people cared about this community.
It's really good when you see somebody else doing it, or somebody else that cared that the island need a little cleaning, and they will help. You have a lot of people that will stop and say they want to do it, but you never see them after that. You have a lot of people, I come in to help you next weekend, never see them after that. You have to have pride. And when you have enough pride, you won't mind picking up the trash.
Not only pride, but a lot of love for Frederiksted.
So you have pride in St. Croix. Show you have pride in St. Croix. Don't be dumping all the McDonald's cups out on the road, the KFC boxes out on the road. That's not pride in your island. The Pampers that you're throwing out on the road, you're throwing in the park, that's not pride in your island. That's just teaching your children to be nasty from young.
And it's not, sorry, it just doesn't feel good, I think. You know, I do have to say that I even get I've gotten from people who I've grown up with that it feels so good to be in town and how clean it is. You know, it's just a nice feeling, and we still have a long way to go, but Fredriksted is so clean, and when you hear cleaner than it was, and when you hear that people see the difference and they appreciate the difference, that's what matters. You know, that the work of just everyday regular people in partnership with businesses and government agencies are initiating change, then it's really an unstoppable force.
Well, my show tries to focus on the positive. We have to cross the negative bridge every now and then, but I have to say that we're floating high on the positive here today. All right, we got a beautiful backdrop here of the Fredriksted Harbor and the waves and people going by. So this show, like all of other shows, are recorded and we put them on YouTube. So for those who are interested or those who didn't get a chance to see that, they'll get a chance to see it by going online to YouTube and the Douglas Canton channel. Right now, I don't want to seem redundant, but I can't help myself. I'm coming back to give waste management kudos again, because the one thing that I don't hear out of this discussion is the fact that they're not just doing their job. They're going above and beyond just doing the job, okay? And that's the important thing, because they are matching step for step, or maybe stepping in front of to keep us on our toes, the efforts of the community. And whenever called, I have to say, based on everything that I've heard, you responded, and in a way that, if you were to leave tomorrow, whoever will come after you, Ms. Son, will have a whole heck of a lot to live up to, okay? And that's good. That's good. You're setting a good pace. All right. Mr. Llanval. Good morning. I see you're here with me here. What I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the public. I'm going to get mine. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the public. And, of course, we're talking about Clean Sweep Fredriksted and our efforts here in Fredriksted. So talk about how you got involved and a little bit of background, that type of information.
Okay, good morning.
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning. My name is Llanval, the Director of Public Works. I'm the Director of Roads, Guts, and Cemeteries. Concerning the initiative that is taking place in Fredriksted, Public Works support it wholeheartedly. We must, first of all, thank the volunteers that take part in the cleaning of Fredriksted. Because of the volunteers and the other government agencies like waste management and so on. It make it much easier to get the job done in cleaning up Fredriksted. At one time, we had some challenges as far as equipment is concerned, but we were able to obtain a couple equipment well, and we also have some site contractors that collaborate with us and do our best to get the town of Fredriksted clean. About the past 2 weeks, we had some of our men from Public Works with some members of the site contractors. These are men that are small business companies that have contracted with Public Works to help clean up the town. But believe it or not, it's also a challenge because some people might feel like Fredriksted is a small town, but it's not. Because if you got to take from Strand Street here, where we are, to the back, in the area of the cemetery, is a lot of work. And we have discovered that when they put the layout of Fredriksted with the drainage, they wasn't thinking of today. They're putting some small pipes, so we have some great challenges. They get blocked up easily and this sort of thing. But we're going to deal with it, and we thank everyone that is taking part. We're here to assist everybody with our equipment, backhoes, mini trackers, haul and haul off trucks, and whatever, manpower. We have the tools. We can always call on Public Works. Get in touch with me, and I will, assist in any way that we could.
Okay, well, I just want to say, don't take it off. But I want to say that, first of all, congratulations in your position.
Thank you.
Okay, and now I could put the face to the work. Okay, no, serious, because I've been talking about Public Works too, but I didn't have no name to call, so I'm going to call you out now. But fantastic. I have to give Public Works kudos for jumping in, equipment-wise and people-wise, to help out in the process. I'm sure there are a lot of challenges, and when you first took on this project or became the facilitator in this project, what were the biggest obstacles that you came up against?
The greatest obstacle that I find when I get there was manpower. We had very shortage in all agencies, all departments of Public Works. Just a few men here, 4 men in construction, this amount of laborers, very few skilled men, a few operators. So it was challenging. And like I mentioned before, we find that a lot of equipment was not operational. You understand? But we have that under control, and we're doing much better. For some reason, the workmen is cooperating much better and much, we get along pretty well now. You understand? So I get in some work done. I really do.
Well, I've observed, from what I've observed here in Frederiksted, you think it's a family. Yes. Whenever we have a cleanup, the first one that I came and participated in was when they did the USO building.
Yes.
And it was like family. All these different people who didn't know each other just started working, and it just gelled.
Yeah.
Everything just came together. Yeah. Okay? So, but a quick question. You're a firewalker too?
No.
Okay, I just needed to know. But
I was doing it. David Clark would pull up on me and say, "Why you don't work with me?" And really, I do want to work with him, but like when I get involved and I was just doing my working, I was always thinking to work with him. But then I started the trash picking up, and I never bothered to look around to him. And even David Clark would pull up to me now and say, "I really love what you're doing."
Right.
Fantastic.
Right. I really love what you're doing, and he has been thinking of putting that in his working.
Yeah. Not even every time, just once in a blue moon have a special cleanup work,
Yeah.
No, that's great. I'm glad that it's taken over in the sense that, fitness is important
it
in and of itself. Because our health is one of the core aspects of our wealth in this community.
That's right.
So that's very important there. But the fact that we can have this opportunity to integrate the cleanup into the process, I throw out the challenge to the firewalkers. Let's burn some trash along the way. Make sure we get permit first, though. Oh yeah, I'm enjoying myself. And to the listening audience out there, you know, we started out here, and it's like when you start off the morning and you haven't had your coffee. Well, I didn't have the benefit of being in the studio and listening to my music, so I'm a little bit on edge. I need my music, but anyhow, I'm gonna live till we get back in the studio. Yeah, but this is fantastic, and I don't know if you can hear it, but the bell tower is tolling at this time, and it's part of the charm of Fredriksted. Okay, and I have my sister here with me who is visiting this week, and she is out and about doing her photography and art, since that is her new vocation, since she's doing the re-employment thing, you know, retired. Re-employment.
I did that.
Okay, well, we're going to be changing up now.
I have one question for the waste management. You know, in regards to when we pick up trash and what have you, are we going to now start a new facility where we can take, like, all the glass bottles and be able to melt them down and make a new product that creates synchroid product to sell and export that, and that creates revenue to generate here for the Virgin Islands?
Recycling is somewhat challenging because we don't have a market or, as you indicated, facilities to repurpose the recycled material. It becomes very costly for the Virgin Islands to recycle. It causes, as I said, it's costly in one aspect in terms of financial, but in terms of our carbon footprint, because most of the recycled materials that we collect on island, they have to be shipped off island.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, you know, one of the things, since we're down in the land of the West, we have some friends who live in a little office building over there. And one of the things that I just suggest maybe we might want to really, really look at is, and this isn't waste management, this is just a matter of policy in the Virgin Islands. You know, every place else in the States, these bottles and cans don't stay around very long because they have a monetary value.
Mm-hmm.
And if we work through the vendors to give it a monetary value, you'd be surprised.
Exactly.
If somebody won't get 5 cents for a Heineken bottle, you think they're throwing it on the side of the road? And if they throw it on the side of the road, you think somebody ain't picking it up and going to cash it in?
Exactly.
Okay? So that's part of what I think that we need to do. Okay.
As it pertains to aluminum can, we do have two goals. One is we have an annual aluminum can recycling program through the school, where the school that has receives the most cans, they get a prize for the school.
Fantastic.
Yes. As well as we do accept aluminum cans at our Petersburg convenience centers. That is processed through our transfer station, our contractor sanitors, and the proceeds, the redemption from the recycled material goes to Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. See now, waste management, you are going so good, you know. You are striking a whole 100, what, 99, and so I'm going to get the next one to get to 100, but you didn't tell me about this thing in the schools.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to hear about it, because the young people have to understand the economic aspects as well as the environmental aspect, because the two are important. We don't want somebody else to come up with the idea of how to make money off of it while we're just thinking we can make money off of it in the process, or we can make something of value to our community. Okay?
And I mean, for me, when I was growing up, the Alliance Center that was there before, I used to correct my cans and turn them in. I used to make a most close to $100 from turn those aluminum cans.
Yeah, but we have to educate again and promote that type of thing. All right. Well, we're here in an environment where we've got other people that we're trying to rotate in, and the last one in was Mr. Llanval, so I ain't letting you get away that quick, okay? But I know waste management got a lot of things to do, so I could let you off the hook for a quick minute here, okay?
Thank you very much.
It was our pleasure. I really, really, really enjoyed having you here, and I really enjoy your participation in everything that we're doing. Okay.
WSTX.
And we're back on the air with Reflections. And we're here in Fredriksted. We've got all kinds of Fredriksted people on the scene here as we're discussing Fredriksted. Okay. So, we're going to start. Go ahead and introduce. Well, I'm sorry. Ladies first. Introduce yourself.
I'm Kathy Tidmark and my husband Randy.
Okay.
And I just turned off.
Okay, now we're still good. Keep going.
I'm Havis and my wife, Nina Tatum.
Okay, all right. And the context in which you're here are business owners here in Fredriksted who have basically observed the transformation and then jumped in and be a part of it. And that's the very important aspect of it, is because you have to have a clean place. A part of having a clean place is the economic activity that keeps the place alive and vibrant also. So would you tell us a little bit about your business and what you're doing in Frederiksted?
Well, we purchased one of the old buildings here in town. I think ours is about 300 years old. And we did a complete renovation on the inside and turned it into vacation rentals. And we're literally right here in town. So our guests have the ability to walk to the shops, All Eats for One of our favorite places for breakfast and lunch. The Waterfront, all of the small shops and other restaurants that are open. And we've been working with Clean Sweep since almost day one of becoming on the island. We noticed probably 3 or 4 years ago when we first started coming how beautiful the town was, but just in need of some love. And we're so grateful for what Virginia and Clean Sweep's been able to do to get going on this. We had said once we got done with all of our project, we wanted to start a cleanup project, and she jumped in and got it going so much better than I could have even imagined being able to do. So,
okay, I don't know did you mention the name of the business?
We are Caribbean Breeze.
Caribbean Breeze.
Vacation homes. Yeah,
you stole my name. I used to have what you call a BBS way back in the days before the internet was what it was, and the name was Sea Breeze. But
well, we have a Sea Breeze unit. Our personal unit is Mom's unit. The blue unit is Sea Breeze. We have Sea Breeze, Bay Breeze, Sunset Breeze, Island Breeze, but the whole project itself was Caribbean
Breeze. I like that theme. All right, fantastic. So you're all on the internet. On what's the locator?
We actually use Airbnb. Which we got involved in that about 1.5 years ago when it first started taking off, and we chose Airbnb because we feel it's more of a bed and breakfast, a personalized touch is what we're offering. We go and help the guests with their arrival from start to finish. We give them recommendations on tours. Each of the rooms have all of the flyers and of the local tourists. So if they want to go to Buck Island, if they want to go snorkeling, scuba diving, we've got all the information there for them. And I just feel Airbnb is a great tool to use because people searching out places on there are a little bit more adventurous, and that's what we're getting. A lot of the visitors are saying that they're coming to the island because they did the background on the culture and the history, and they're loving the fact that they can come and see these old buildings and learn about where everyone that's now residing on the island, as well as the people that are the true Christians that have been here from.
I'm so glad that you said all of what you said, because it is important to know. And I'm one of those persons. I am going through retraining because I can't get lost on St. Croix. But people ask me things like street names, and I can't. I just know it's down there by this house, and you realize that somewhere along the line there was so much taken for granted, in a sense. So, and any efforts that is going to help us get more in touch with those type of details, to be able to communicate those details and also as people come here to be able to talk about the cultural significance of those details in the process. Okay, yes, sir. Listen to you here.
Well, we're Casa del Oro, and almost the exact same story. We just came here about 4 months ago. We lived here for years and went back to the States and realized what a huge mistake we'd made. And as my wife says, a bad day on the island's better than a good day anywhere else on earth. And we bought a building that was the original Lutheran parsonage built by the Danes in 1790. And we renovated it. We have 4 rental units that are, I love your names, your units. Ours are all named after the old the rest stop twist and lower love and upper love here on the island. And we're renovating, working like dogs, working ourselves to death, probably 15 hours a day. And it's a labor of love, and we're enjoying it every minute of every step of the way. Yeah, we're hooked up with Airbnb, with VRBO, vacation room owners, and just want to spread the love. It's a Caribbean life. Best vacation you can get down here. It'll give you all the. You can handle a week down here will rejuvenate your stress level that you can go back to the States and handle another 6 months to come back down again.
All right. Well, you keep saying things like that. I'm going to have to talk to tourism to get them to syndicate this show through WSTX and all around the world, because that was such a great promo for these folks, and in particular here in St. Croix and Fredriksted, okay? And it's just, it's great to hear these things. People need to hear and understand in the context that there's an appreciation that we have something of value here. Take care of it. It all swings right back around now to Clean Street Frederiksted. The efforts and volunteers, the government agencies jumping on board and pitching in, matching us step for step. It's all part of what's going to make Frederiksted, Christiansted, the whole island a better place to live, a better economic environment in terms of more businesses. We have to make sure that business is promoted. And I say that in the sense that as a small business person myself, having to run the gauntlet of licensing as well as the Bureau of Internal Revenue and these type of things. And I have to say that I've had very good experiences. It's not impossible to not have a good experience, but I have my 99, so if I have a bad one, I have to put that one bad one in check by weighing it against the fantastic opportunities that I've had in business because of the assistance of Department of Licensed Consumer Affairs. I give them the big up, especially their being online and their bilingual staff there that's willing to assist you at any time. And I've gotten good response whenever I've needed help from your internal revenue. Okay? Well, we're here out in Fredriksted, and I keep repeating it. We're here in the scenic waterfront of Fredriksted. From where I'm looking, there's the bell tower on this end, there's the water, the walk. In the distance, you have the sun, sea, and sand for everybody to see. So it's looking really great. It's fun. And we have a specific location that we're at. We're right in front of Polly's on the waterfront. And for those of you who know, last week we came down here to do this, but we had some technical difficulties, but it's all worked out this time. And we're on the radio talking with people of Frederiksted, business people of Frederiksted, government agencies working in Frederiksted. Hey, we're even talking with the grass. We haven't heard it talk back yet, but anyhow, what we have here, the proprietors for Polly's, and I want you to go ahead and talk a little bit about your inspiration for opening up Polly's in the first place, because Frederiksted has seen its share of businesses closing down like the rest of the island and places staying shuttered for a long time. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration for opening up Polly's and what's going on down on this end.
Well, I originally didn't open Polly's. It's been around for a little while. My partner Chuck and I moved here from Atlanta, Georgia, full-time about 2.5 years ago, and it was always my hope was to purchase Polly's because I've been in the restaurant business for a very, very long time. And so when we actually moved down here, I went to work for Stephen, who owned Polly's prior to us, and I felt like it just needed a little TLC. So we made an offer and bought Polly's, and we've had it for 2 years now, and have grown the business. Polly's was waning a little bit, so we came in and rebuilt it. Worked on growing the local business, because the local business, of course, is what's going to sustain us, more so than the tourist business. Tourist business is very important, don't get me wrong, but the local business is where is our bread and butter. And Polly's has really kind of become a community center, if you will.
I noticed.
in the mornings, we get a lot of people coming through. We open our coffee window at 7:30 in the morning, so we get a pretty steady crew of people coming in and getting their coffees. And then the main doors open 8 o'clock for breakfast, and we have a lot of regulars that come in. And I really feel like Polly's is a very important part of Fredriksted. We saw growth potential here, and it is the reason that we wanted to have it and become a vital part of the community here in Fredriksted. And we've made a lot of very good friends, a lot of local people coming in, and it's a lot of fun. On top of everything else, like you said a little while ago about the view, the waterfront. My office view from Polly's right there couldn't be any better. So we get to look out at that beautiful waterfront every single day and get to greet our customers. And it's a lot of fun.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about my experience last week, because I did my homework. I came down and I checked out everything, and it was nice and tranquil inside. And I said, "Oh, no problem. This will work just fine." And then I get here last Thursday, and this stampede of people come running in and chattering and just create all this sound and noise that we just could not successfully operate what we're doing here out of that environment. And I'm saying, like, wow. Because on the one hand, I wanted to be on the air doing what we're doing, but on the other hand, seeing that activity was really, how should I put it? It was inspiring. Because it's one thing to talk about Fredriksted, but my station is in Christiansted, and I come down to Fredriksted from time to time. But to actually be here early in the morning to see the place early in the morning is another perspective, and to see all that activity, I was really, really heartened. Okay, sir, you wanted to?
Sure. My name's Topher Swanson. I'm sort of the newer kid on the block.
All right.
My partner and I, Jeff, purchased the old Tatum house at the end of Strand Street, right next to Turtle's Deli.
Yes, the one that's pink and white.
Yes,
I'm saying that for all of us who know it by where it is and the color it is, as opposed to the name.
Right, the color is almost more famous than the house. Named after Ashley Tatum, who's a labor activist in his day. And it's a great house. It's a big pink building. It's not going to be pink for much longer. We're about to change it to peach. So it's getting a brand new facelift. We're really, really big into doing all of our renovations on the property right now. We're very, very busy with restoring it, bringing everything up to code. We've had a lot of beautiful fretwork on the front of the house that's being recreated so that it will be up to the proper height, so that we'll be able to keep our guests safe. Because we are going to open it up as a new B&B resort. It's called The Fred, named after King Frederick of Denmark, and also the namesake for Fredriksted. So we think that's going to be a really kind of a hip, cool, fun name for a hip, cool, fun resort. My partner and I came here from Washington, D.C., and everybody thinks of Washington, D.C. as being this beautiful nation's capital of the United States. 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. It was a mess, and we were part of that revolution and revitalization in Washington, D.C., and it was really, really great to see all that happen and how beautiful the city has become now. And we ran a property management company for a number of years, and it was time, after 20 years of that, it was time for a break, it was time for a change, and we really wanted to move to an island. So we traveled to a lot of different islands before we decided which one we wanted to move to. And when we found St. Croix, we instantly just felt like, oh my gosh, this is it all over again. It's Washington, D.C. 20 years ago. There's so much starting to happen. You can just feel the energy, and you can see people taking the pride. People are walking around with a purpose. Businesses are opening up. People are fit. They're walking around more. They're exercising in the morning. That's just all part of the examples of this tremendous revitalization that's underway.
Well, I kind of attribute that to what I see as those people who have vision beyond the hard times. We've been through some hard times, some rough times, and in some ways we're still going through it. But we're at that point now where if you can look and just stare and glare at me, you could just see that glimmer of hope right down there, and just stay focused and keep working toward it little by little, and it starts to happen. It's not a time to throwing up hands. It's a time to jump in and say, hey, this is an opportunity. Let's do it.
Right. It's definitely the turning point.
Yes.
Things are definitely happening.
Most definitely. The various organizations that get involved as far as rehabilitating the community, especially sometimes you have some of the older buildings and where we have we paint some of those places, put up shutters that make it look cosmetically better. But in the long run, we're hoping to just like with yourselves here, to get more and more people who are willing to make an investment toward bringing the full beauty of the town back. Okay? All right. And we got quite a parade of guests here, and I don't want to be like the Fredriksted parade and be here till 8 o'clock tonight. So we're going to have to move to another one of our guests here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Shelli. I'm with Ridge Farm. We grow in the northwest side of St. Croix. We are a certified organic farm, and we sell to St. Thomas and St. John, as well as providing for our St. Croix community.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and as Frederick said, the west side is our home. I'm just here to help support and to promote this most incredible office that you have, with the sun shining and butterflies floating around Fredriksted.
I mean, we have a heck of a studio here today.
Man, this is awesome. Do we live here? This is awesome.
Yes. This is awesome.
So, I'm here to talk about the food element, or the food side to our community. Ridge Farm is run by Nate Olive, and part of what we do is we have farmers markets. We have one every Wednesday on Mahogany Road at 3:30, from 3:30 to 6. On the west side, it's an online style of market where you can actually go and look at our inventory and see what we have available. You can pre-order, and what's nice is you can also pre-order from other farms as well. So if you go on to www.vi.locallygrown.net, every weekend, us as well as the other farmers, we post our inventory, our up-to-date inventory, and you can look and see what we have. You can shop from several different farms all at once. You put it in your shopping cart, and then you pick it up every Wednesday.
I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. You make sure that you get my email address and send me that URL, because I'm not going to remember it just off of the conversation. There's so much going on here. But, I'm glad that you're doing this, and I'm going to promote that from the perspective that this thing about making this trip to the store and going down these aisles and looking for this and looking for that, why aren't the inventories online? Okay, why can't we just get online and decide we're going to get ABC, XYZ, and we could see that they're not out of this or out of that, whatever. Plan our shopping trip, just go and boom. Or it also creates an economic opportunity for those people who want to do grocery delivery. All right? All you got to do is think different.
That's very true. If someone wanted to start a grocery delivery service, there's already companies that do things like that in St. Thomas and St. John. You can easily go onto the website and shop from several different farms. You can get local, fresh, naturally grown products. And then you just pick it up every Wednesday, and you can deliver it to your customers.
All right. And just a side note, I see our Vitran bus just went by here. I don't know if another one passed by earlier, But hey, Vitran has done the job. Just letting you guys know that they're out here doing their thing, providing very affordable transportation. All right, with a pretty blue and white buses. Okay, let's get a few more in the process. Okay, transportation is important to economic activity. All right, but no, I'm really happy to hear about your farm putting their produce online and the ability to actually go ahead and do your shopping list.
Yeah.
And basically, once they've done that, they can come and pick it up already pre-packaged by you?
Well, it'll be the farmers deliver their orders about a half hour to an hour before the market starts. And so then you come with your shopping bag or box, and then you have your order is there waiting for you.
Fantastic.
And then there's also extra products that are there, so customers that don't pre-order can also come and buy.
All right. Well,
and then just a quick note about that, too. One of the benefits from being able to directly access farmers' inventories every weekend on the market is that one of the things that happens with farms and with produce is that when you have a farm stand and you're coming to town every day, you don't often bring your most prized products, your ripest fruit. And as a part of it is because you're dealing with a perishable item. And so if me as a farmer knows, or if I don't know if my ripe papaya is going to sell, I might not bring it to town because once I pick it, I lose it if it's not sold. What this does for farmers is it helps them to be able to sell some of their high-quality, most perishable, most prized items to the customers. And they can order it, and then the farmers know for sure it's sold before it's even picked. So that's one of the benefits to the farms as well as to the consumers is you're getting local, fresh, and you're getting it like freshly picked. Farmers get an email every Tuesday evening. You get, for the farmers, they get a list of their customers' contacts. They have what was ordered, the quantities that was ordered. So they still get to have that personal relationship with their customers.
Right.
And what the farmer market does is it helps provide a place, and then we have staff that's there to help coordinate it so the farmer doesn't have to stay. Because oftentimes, our time is money.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is the farmer can drop it off, pick up their money, and then just leave their product, and they don't have to physically be there to man a farm stand, but yet their products are selling for them.
Wow.
And so it's also something that's really good for anyone out there that's looking for another way to sell your produce. You can go onto the website. You can get the details from it. It's vi.locallygrown.net. We've been doing this farmers market for about, I want to say maybe 6 years now. We started here.
vi.locallygrown.net. All right.
.locallygrown.net.
I did not know. Okay, so I am so happy you're here. One, because I know, but I also know if I didn't know, chances are there are a lot of other people out there that don't know.
Yeah, and I hope you do come and check it out, especially if you haven't been before.
Well, you give me the contact information, and before we leave here today, we'll have directions how to get there and check it out. And I'll see maybe Cecily and I can come out and document what's going on out there so we can carry on this conversation. I want to invite you down to our studios in Christiansted at some point in time in the next several weeks or so. Come on down. I'd like you to talk about this again. And not that I'm not inviting everybody else. I'm just in Fredriksted accommodating everyone in that context because everybody is welcome to come down to our studios and schedule and come back on again. But I'm looking in particular at this is pivotal. This is the future that's coming. Once upon a time, we had the melee and the riders, then we got the landline, then we got the cell phone, now we got social media, and this harnesses all of those things in terms of quality of life. The ability to order your stuff, go down, and it's ready to pick up and go, hey, that sounds great.
True. And just another note, it's also a really good location. Farmers markets are great places to meet your food and to get to know the people that grow them. You get to know the source where your food is coming from, and in this day and age, it's really important to know where your food is coming from. And so when you go to farmers markets, that's a great location, not only for you to meet your farmers, but for your family, for your kids to meet them, and to have questions or to have conversations about growing food, because a lot of us do have green thumb. Some of us are at the blue thumb level, which is where we're transitioning from the black thumb to the green thumb. And so if you need a little help, if you need some tips, if you got some questions, farmers markets are a great place to go to get that kind of information as well. And then just another quick note, on October 28th, not next week Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, in conjunction with the restaurant week that's happening on St. Croix Dine VI, the VI Good Food Coalition is going to be leading a food learning project at that farmers market.
Oh,
that's going to be on Wednesday, October 28th. It starts at 2 o'clock on Mahogany Road, where the Louette's Museum is. They have a Facebook page. You can always go and follow the VI Good Food Coalition. You can go to dine.vi for more information about this particular one as well. And it's one of the things to do on the calendar of events for Restaurant Week is go to a farmer's market and learn about food. And there's going to be some cooking demonstrations that are going to be led by Chef Frank Cookies. He's the former founder and owner of Eat at Cane Bay. And they have a really great catering company right now. So they're going to come to the farmers market. They're going to invite schools and teachers and students to come.
Okay, I'm hearing somebody in the studio there. So just so you're aware, I'm hearing you in the studio. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to RSVP with Summer Sibley Brown or Charlena Brown, I believe it is. And then you can come. It's going to be set up as a 3-course meal, and you're going to be learning about the food throughout the whole entire process. So it's specifically geared towards people learning about food. So if you've heard about local, if you've heard about organic, if you've heard about working with ingredients you've never heard about before, or if you've recently heard what you can do with greens and things like that, and you want to learn some more information, this is a really good opportunity, and I hope you get to come as well. That's a good day to come to the farmers market. I mean, every day is a good day to come to the farmers market, but this one in particular, it's a great day.
I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm glad you turned to the calendar, because the 24th is the Clean Sweep Day, and where they're going to be having the cleanup going on here in Fredriksted, and then in Christiansted, the Christiansted Community Alliance, they'll be there doing their thing also, and you'll have Cleanup St. Croix also pitching in on both ends along the way. And so that's the Saturday, the 24th, and then the 28th, you're talking about the
Wednesday.
Okay. Now, Dine VI, you mentioned, and it's important that people know that Dine VI is an opportunity here to highlight St. Croix from the food trucks themselves and the quality of the food to the people and the interaction. It's all going to be important in highlighting St. Croix. So, as I say all the time, there's a lot going on in St. Croix to the point where we conflicted. I find myself, I have to pick this one over that one, and that's a great place to be.
Yeah, and then also part of the festivities for the Dine VI is on the Friday, there's going to be a big food truck festival.
Yeah, don't put your hand on it.
Yeah, so there's going to be a big food truck festival that's going to be organized by Feta. I'm not sure of the times, but I just saw a great flyer for it on Facebook. All right. So you can definitely check out their Facebook page as well as call them for more information about that. There's going to be some live performances, I believe, by Tia and Pressure Bus Pipe. It should be a really good,
he's going to be there.
Really good event.
Okay. And also, I know just as an aside, also on the 24th, I know that there's going to be a dub in the rainforest going on also. So for those people who've attended that in the past or who are interested in checking it out, plenty of nice music and good people enjoying nature. Dub in the rainforest is going on. All right. Well, I really want to thank you for being here and talking about the things that you're talking about. I am just so fired up from the techie point of things to see that it's finally coming full circle. Somebody's figured it out. There's money in being able to move your produce online.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well as it provides more access to customers to be able to get food from their farmers in the community.
Okay, I guess we're getting ready to take a break. Okay, so we're going to take a pause here. When we come back, we've got our town, Fredriksted, Mr. Franklin here with us, so we'll take a break. All right, WSTX, 970 AM.
Mark the X. This is AM 970 WSTX. AM 970 WSTX.
WSTX 970 AM. We're having fun here on the Fredriksted Waterfront, and we're here with all these different people. We had public workers, waste management, we had businesses. We've learned about the farmers market that makes our food available to us online so that we can put together our shopping list. They box it up. You just show up and basically pick it up and go. I mean, it's just been one thing after the other. That's just fantastic things happening in Fredriksted. All right. And reflection is about the community mirror. You look in the mirror, what do you see? You don't like it? Jump in and make a difference. Do something about it. That's the way you do it. Don't sit back and complain. Be a part of the solution. So, as we're talking about these things here, Mr. Franklin from our town, Frederiksted, strolled up and took a seat here with me. And I'm so glad to have him there, my old-time friend, buddy, from our town, Frederiksted. And I remember a lot of the things that our town, Frederiksted, was very instrumental in doing. And I'm so glad, thank you, I'm so glad that you're here seeing, in essence, the fruits of that labor where it's taking off and going in another direction, but all toward what? The beautification and the improvement of Fredriksted. Yes, sir. Welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, tell me a little bit about what's been going on with you and our town, Fredriksted, or otherwise in terms of Fredriksted period, because you got your Fredriksted to the bone. I already know that.
Well, the Hampton, what's going on right now is no different than what's been going on in 1992 when I joined our town, Fredriksted. I had moved from New York back to my home in St. Croix in Fredriksted, and at that time we had the Hurricane Hugo, and many of the buildings in the town were destroyed or had already been dilapidated, and so we set upon a course of repairing, rebuilding, and revitalizing the economy of the town of Fredriksted, because that went with the hurricane. And so over the years, I think the major problem is lack of money, financing, funding, because in those days, really we basically got money from some of the major businesses in the town of Fredriksted. Oventa being the number one, who provided us with money to do different projects in the town of Fredriksted. But our focus, and still is,
has always been on the building structures, many of them being historic structures. And now one of the initiatives that we have is to somehow rebuild the Cumberland Castle and the Durant Tower. If you are familiar with those buildings, they're buildings that are on King Street, the main street, the business street of Fredriksted, and those are things that we would like to be a part of the driving forces of our economy, that people would come and see those things, especially cruise passengers. So we are hoping that continuing what we've been doing is that many of these historic buildings in town of Fredriksted, that we can again make them whole. One that we are now working on is the Alexander Parish, Governor Alexander Parish boyhood home on King and Market Street.
Right.
And we had been given that building in the ruin really some years ago, but it was then taken away from us by the governor. We're also concerned with the Historic Preservation Commission, the government agency that is responsible for regulating and monitoring the buildings and the conditions of the building. We're trying now to get them to institute some kind of legislation or ordered from them as to how building restoration and renovation can proceed, rather than anybody coming and just painting their building whatever color they want, or building it out of whatever they want. Because Mr. Canton, as you well know, this is a historic town. It's on his National Historic Register. The town of Fredriksted, as Christian said in Charles O'Malley. So when people come here to visit, we want to see some semblance of order and some history and some reflection of the culture in what the people are doing and what the buildings look like and what we tell visitors when they come off the cruise.
Well, you know, we have to see if we can get an audience with the Historic Preservation Commission. I know that they've got their hands full, and that they do need some help in terms of both legislation as well as funding/manpower. They've got their hands full. And I say that.
Excuse me, but it's not just Historic Preservation, it's DPNR, because DPNR is the organization that is the team organization of DPNR.
Right.
And that's what you said. They have it.
Yes. I looked at the Historic Preservation, but it's a big umbrella, and they're just kind of at the top of it in terms of our interface where we need the process. Yeah, but DPNR, of course, anything as building construction is a big part of what we've got to do. All right, and so it's an ongoing challenge. That's the bottom line, and you can't lose heart. You can't give up. You can't ease up, because the minute you do, you'll see something fly up here and fly up there and fly up
there. We haven't given up. You know that well. It's been over 28 years for us.
Yeah.
So we have not given up. Unfortunately, now, with the economy that we have now, with the Provenza gone, and a lot of the money that was circulating in the town of Fredriksted and Fredriksted is definitely not there anymore. So many of the businesses in the town of Fredriksted, 17 at my last count, have already closed their doors.
Yes.
And
that's a challenge that we're facing across the board. From the cost of utilities, the impact of that, and even though that's come down somewhat, the long-term impact of living with that has taken its toll. We know that. We also know that the loss of the Hovenza enterprise and all of the hiring that was done to Hovenza, and that's been a big hit. We've got other challenges, like they need to get their act together with regards to the GRS, because that's, it's just like dominoes. You better do something to make sure that they're not falling, number one, and if they do fall and they're not in proximity to another one, to start that chain reaction. And that's a challenge that we're facing across the board. So it's one of those things where we've got a lot of work to do, if we think we've arrived, we're kidding ourselves. All right, we've got this beautiful waterfront. We've got all that's going on here today, and the people who've come and spoken, that should be an inspiration to everyone to get more vigilant, not to say, okay, we've arrived. It's just a call to join.
I think the important thing, Mr. Hampton, is finance, revenue, money that we need badly, because you cannot do anything just by feeling good.
Yeah.
You got to have the money.
You got to have the money.
And one of the things that I've been trying to promote with out on Fredriksted is what is called the Community Reinvestment Act. It's a federal act that encourages banks to lend money to communities such as ours in Frederiksted, low and moderate income communities, to do rebuilding economic activities, and that's not happening. I think I spoke to you once about that to see what we should do about that.
We definitely got to work on that. Okay, the studio question. Studio coming through yes, talking. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Franklin. Just double checking to make sure that the talking I'm hearing is not going in out over the air, and they're not aware that it's going on. Okay. We've got a lot of challenges. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and that's why I'm trying to drive home the point to the community that this is a call to action. This is not we have arrived. This is not things are okay, that things are hunky-dory. This is a call to action.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because for these many years, not only out on Fredriksted, but other organizations have responded to the call. We, for example, have put together a town plan that was, we did that many years ago, but then the enterprise zone requested that we put together a town plan. Our idea of what we think that Fredriksted should look like from its historic perspective, from the cultural, and that the building should look like representative of the culture and what they were years ago. I'm not saying that we should have all the buildings looking like this, but they ought to somehow be able to meld into
this is why I'm saying we've got to continue to be vigilant, because all of those steps, all of those activities, all of those suggestions and recommendations, you know that with government, paperwork goes in a desk or in a drawer or whatever, and then it kind of like disappears.
Why?
I can't tell you why. And then the other thing sometimes is from administration to administration, you lose people with the legacy knowledge and involvement in some of these projects, and they take a backseat to the backseat because of that. So I'm just saying that these are the challenges. We have to rise up and speed this call to action to make sure that we start asking the right questions and bringing people to bear. You know, DPNR, we've got new leadership now, and let's see what we can do in terms of having a round table. And I would say an informal meeting, because I don't want it to be adversarial, because I'm sure that the new DPNR commissioner got more things that people could tell them about than they could necessarily know, depending on what area they were working in before. So I think that one of our important steps is to get ears from DPNR all the way up through the Preservation Commission and have that conversation, non-adversarial conversation type of thing.
Well, right? we have all that ready. Mm-hmm. Okay, under the Enterprise Zone Commission, because I don't know whether you were aware that several months ago we met in St. Thomas and we had a sort of what would you call it, a conference where the intent was to bring the benefits of being or doing business on St. Croix and pointing out some of the points of interest that investors can utilize to come here and bring money into the territory. But it has not gone anywhere. It's under the the legislature has done it, but we wanted to see some immediate benefits from having that conference. I don't know, but I'm very impatient when it comes to
Right. So we've had this conference, and basically you're looking for action now that we haven't seen yet. Okay, but I think that we need to talk a little bit more about this conference and what came out of it in that context, so that we can become part of the solution of maybe poking the right people in the right places to start getting something said, and maybe to get beyond that to getting something done. Now, I wasn't aware of the conference. I was not aware. And I was telling somebody earlier, there's so much going on, you're conflicted. I have some folks in St. Thomas that yesterday let me know that, hey, I'm going to be in St. Thomas for the next couple of days through Saturday, and I want to shoot back and say, yeah, but I'm also a single dad now, and I got to do the school run and this run and that. I don't know that I'm getting to St. Thomas this week. And this is business. But, it might end up that as a result, I know they have to be in Puerto Rico next. So I might be going to Puerto Rico once I get off the hook from all these other duties for a business meeting that really was better to be here in the Virgin Islands community. But it's one of those things. There's so much going on, and we've got to get beyond the talk, beyond the conferences, and so we got to figure out how to do the follow-up. Okay? So what you can do is we can sit down and have breakfast sometime. You can give me a rundown on persons involved, and we can pick it up from there.
You saying you're going to be treating me to breakfast?
Mr. Franklin, I don't mind treating you to breakfast. I cannot take the money with me. Okay, number one. I can't treat all of Fredriksted to breakfast. But it's been a long, long time. Okay? And in that context, so it'll definitely be a catch-up. Okay? And we'll do it right here at Polly's, as a matter of that this is where everything started in terms of what we're doing here today. All right?
It's amazing, this area here was at one time the economic driver of Fredriksted.
Yeah.
Merwin's building there is where everything happened, because this is where there went cruise ship, there were cargo ships.
Mm-hmm.
And they came right in the port here, and he hired a lot of people. He was able to hire a lot of people. He also had a hardware store here. But his business was the economic driver of Fredriksted. It's amazing. All these buildings here, you had a power plant here, had an ice cream parlor here, his hardware store was here, the bank was on the corner. And that's years ago.
But I'm glad that you're here talking about it, because we're memorializing this conversation in the process.
Well, we need to, because one of the things that I find is lacking is that young people haven't the vaguest idea of what transpired years ago. And I think you have to know your history.
Yes,
where you're coming from, in order to know where you want to go. The lady here was talking about agriculture. That was at one time the economic driver of these islands. That was where people got their food, because people didn't eat junk out of a can from wherever. They eat home-cooked food, and in the sea for fish. They had their own cattle and their goats and their sheep. That we have lost. We have lost that initiative, and I don't know why, to have an internal economy of our own.
Well, we're kind of winding down here, and I think that we have a conversation here that we could be here truly till 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And I have someone here. I just want them to be able to talk. Yes, put that on. You could just turn it upside down if you need to. Just however you need to do it. Okay? Comfy. And this is your microphone here, so it's just hanging down. You don't have to do anything with it. Just there.
I'm present.
Right. And breast cancer awareness is one of those things that when you think of it, there's so many different aspects of thinking about. Of course, there are those that we've lost due to breast cancer. There are those who have survived because of the outreach that causes people to be more proactive in checking. And so that maybe something that could have been devastating turned out to be just a minor procedure, since it didn't get let go. And we have those folks who had gone the whole way of breast removal and breast reconstruction, so forth and so on. So we know that breast cancer, from taking our loved ones away to putting us through some very, very serious changes in our lives, is an important thing. So, welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about, just go ahead and talk.
All right, okay. This is Diane Hampton, and thank you for inviting me, especially today. This is October 15th.
Yes,
today is actually the official Pink Ribbon Day.
All right.
And pink is just a color, but pink is used, it represents the idea that we need to be reminded as women, and men too, to take care of our health. So it's important to get that mammogram checkup. So that's what the pink ribbon is all about. For those of you like, we have a pink ribbon, but we're celebrating National Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in the territory, and particularly here in St. Croix. I have had the great fortune of working with the YAGS Breast Cancer Foundation, YAGS, Yvonne Ashley Gallagher. And through that association, I've just had a wonderful time. These young ladies work so hard, and there are so many activities that have been planned by YAGS for this month. We're going into November the 15th. And on actually today, they're launching the first Pink October photo contest. And it is a YAGS photo house treasure hunt or building treasure hunt throughout the island. St. Croix has so many beautiful buildings, so we're asking our community to engage with us and recognizing the importance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. All you have to do is run and find a pink building, stand in front of it, create your own sign about breast cancer, take that photo shot and send it in and post it on the
I wish you had told me before. I would have made it mandatory for everybody to wear pink today.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Can you imagine Mr. Franklin in pink?
Oh, my God. Well, yes. We're going to have an opportunity to wear pink because Senator Samuel Sainus and the YAGS Breast Cancer Foundation, they are hosting a walk, a breast cancer walk and a prostate cancer walk right here on the waterfront on Sunday at 4 o'clock on the 16th of November.
16th,
right.
Sunday.
Right. Let me just give you at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
And so on the 13th, on Friday night, they're hosting a comedy show at the Pink Spot. 2 shows, one that starts at 6 at the Pink Spot. And the comedian is Kim Cole. She's flying in from California. She is actually the guest speaker for the YAGS Breast Cancer annual conference at UVI on Saturday. And that starts, the registration is at 8. And the theme is the laughter healing, the power of laughter as a healing. I believe that's the title. It has to do with the laughter being a healing.
Okay.
So that
are you still going to be available to visit me next Thursday?
Will I be?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because we're kind of at the end of the show here.
Well, let me take a quick shout out and let everybody know if you're a breast cancer survivor, I'm sponsoring free 2-night getaway weekends from October the 23rd to November the 15th. Just call my number at 340-227-3879, or you can contact me through the St. Croix Foundation.
All right. Well, I hope you touch bases with my good friend Doc Peterson, because we got another opportunity.
I have an opportunity? Oh, that's great.
That's right. Talk to Doc. He's on tomorrow. Get the word out. It's an important topic. Talk to Doc. Get the word out.
Okay.
So, most definitely, he's on tomorrow from 8 to 10 also. Okay. Well, we're getting close to that hour, and I'd like to have Miss Virginia Wilder. Oh, not Virginia. Virginia Clairmont. That's right. Not Wilder. Okay. So, and I'm telling people we have Cecily Tyson here, and there's this big crowd that shows up in Fredriksted, and it's only Cecily Loggins. Oh, my goodness. Okay. You need to come around for the camera. You need to come around for the camera. All right? I want everybody to see that smiling face when he talks. So we're kind of winding down here, Yeah, Josh, I'm paying attention to the time. It's 9:56 on my clock, so we've got a few minutes left to get the word out. Since the 24th is the big day that we're going to be having with Clean Sweep Fredriksted. And let me tell you, folks, don't forget, you come and you walk, then you go home and you take your shower and freshen up and come back later that evening because then they're having a black party. All right, I hear they're having food and things, having a black party. So keep in mind the 24th, you ain't just about clean up and get the place good. We got a black party going. You ain't cancel the black party?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm still watching here. We have a black party.
Yeah. A black party is going to be free.
All right.
Food, free drink. You know,
oh, Lord. See, I don't see the card line. New iPhone come out and everybody's
yes.
out.
Yeah, like organizations that are going to be there, you know. So, I mean, you know how we do. What we're about is bringing the community into Fredriksted, and so everything that we do is usually free. And we want it to be a fun family environment.
Okay. All right. So on the 24th, we've got Clean Sweep Day. We're going to work our tails off in the morning. And that evening, we're going to come out here and party. All right. That's a Saturday. Yeah. So community. Banding together to make solutions. That's what it's all about. Banding together to enjoy each other's company and to do it in a beautiful place. Why? Because we made it beautiful. Because we all are beautiful.
Yeah, we're celebrating. We're celebrating Fredriksted. Exactly. That's what it's about. We're celebrating us and our hard work.
All right.
You know, and our dedication to moving this town forward.
Well, I think I may have set a world record today for the amount of guests that I had in one.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it was great. I would do it again. So,
invite me. I love it.
Yes, I'm having a good time. I'm like I told you, I'm enjoying this new life. This new life, definitely. Okay.